Has lockdown had you feeling a little low? Well, what are the positives that you can find within this lockdown now? Hi, I'm Coach Chris Browne. Join me tonight at 9 p.m. with Sylbourne on the Sylbourne Show.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thank you for joining me on the late one with yours truly, Sylbourne Sydial. It is Tuesday, the 16th of the 2nd, 2021, and it's not snowing outside. I think we got rid of the snow. My talk today was don't claim your obstacles. That was my talk this morning when I was doing my walking talk. Don't claim your obstacles. You know what I'm trying to say? And tonight I got Chris Browne, Coach Chris Browne. But I want to say before I bring in Coach Chris Browne, we have been going on this extensive journey during this whole lockdown series because we capitalized on it to say how we can better our life. And, you know, we started 5 weeks ago, but hey, I need to explain that we started in April when we had the first lockdown, where I started to do the Walk and Talk series, where we spoke about a lot of things and what we talk about 21 days to change your life and to change things in your life for a positive. And of recent days, we started again with part 1, which was staying focused during lockdown. You need to check that out. It's on my YouTube channel, staying focused during lockdown. And then we went further to creating opportunities in lockdown. And then we went further by saying confidence building in lockdown. I will go further by saying in part 4, is there more to you than just your job role in lockdown? And last week we said, do you feel stuck in this lockdown? I think I'm going to make a rap on that and get Chris to be my sidekick. Who knows? Chris might even do a beatbox for me, you know. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in Chris because we was going to straight into this week. And you know, Chris, how are you, buddy? Coach Chris Browne.
Hi there, Sylbourne. I'm good, thank you. And I'll just listen to your intro there. I don't know where this beatbox is coming in again. No, I'm all good, thank you.
Well, I got to go. I got to do it. I got to do it because I went back into way back and I heard Bismarcky. You know Bismarcky? You know Bismarcky? You know Dougie Fresh and those guys?
I remember Bismarcky. I remember. I saw your video actually.
Were you born those days, Chris Browne?
I think it was a bit too, you know, before my time, you know.
And he said, "Make the music with your mouthpiece." Poof. the last time you said your beatbox beat me.
Your beatbox beat me last time, so I'm not going to beatbox this time.
Indeed. Well, listen, Coach. Anyway, it's another week, and you know, I just ran through a few of those topics there a while ago.
Right.
Before going further, what's your take on the 5 weeks that we have done so far? The journey in regards to these various series. Let's give an overview. You know, just your thoughts on the 5 weeks that we have done so far with the different topics.
You know, in these 5 weeks of doing these different topics, and as you said, all based on empowerment within lockdown, showing someone how to actually move ahead on here. You know, what I'll say is, look, every little bit helps, no matter what. And sometimes something slips over and it slips into the subconscious and you realize, I'm actually in this place right now. And I found that individuals from response as well can identify with the areas we talked about, which obviously helped them as well, which was really good. And, you know, I must say this to your viewers as well. I like the contributions that they put in there to say, hey, you know what? we're on the right track, you know, and no matter what happens in this period of lockdown, we got to think of, there's those who are just getting on with it, and there's those who are finding it quite tough. And we, like I said, we're talking about mental health overall. It's something that everybody has a little bit of, you know, has to know how to actually battle with this and what's going on and how to actually handle this lockdown. So it's been great. It's been beneficial, and I've enjoyed it on here as well. You know, we've had our laughs.
I must, yeah, we got our laughs. Yes, yes. I want to thank to David Chen for coming. And welcome, original Black Chinese from Jamaica. You know, I'm trying to say original. That's a personal joke, Chris.
I get it. I totally
you know? And for those on Instagram joining as whatever. But you know, when you mentioned about the series of lockdown, and you mentioned about the whole mindset, I find it very intriguing myself, Coach, as one who is out there every day, you know, championing the cause, doing my walk and talk motivational moment, to the fact that I even started a podcast as well, just really realizing that there's so many gems, there's so many hidden positives that we can actually find during the course of this time, which lead us to the topic for today, you know. And the topic which we coined today is and you know, it is, what are the hidden positives in lockdown? You know,
there are so many. You know, it's funny because, let's put it this way. We coined a phrase, what are the hidden positives in lockdown? But you know, when you're getting hit left, right, and center, you know, you can't really see beyond that. You know, I don't know if there's anybody who's been training. I remember when you used to do competitions, and it was martial arts, and, you know, you go competition and you can't see anything. You know, all you know is what's in front of you. And in these sort of situations, it's exactly the same. You're getting hit left, right, and center, and you miss the gems that are in there, as said, the positive hidden things. So what we're going to do is we're going to uncover a few and kind of, let's say, redirect the mind into realizing, well, look, oh wait, this came out of it. We know, as I always say, there's been some difficult times for individuals, you know, only know too well, and, you know, my heart goes out to that. But let's try and look and see what we can see beyond, and what are the hidden gems. Okay.
And as you mentioned about the hidden gems, I want to talk about or just bring this into focus about mining. You know, like when you go into these deep depths trying to find diamonds, you got to go deep, and you know, you were surprised about the level of diamonds and gold which is there below the rugged, the dirt, the crust. And you'll be surprised when you dig deep, you find them. And this is what we're going to talk about tonight, whereby there are some hidden gems, some hidden positives that we're going to find during the course of this lockdown. Coach Chris Browne, shoot, bang, 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 go for it.
All right, let's go for it. Let's talk about a hidden gem that we all could do with at this time, at this present moment. Now, this isn't one of the ones I was going to mention before, but it's something that kind of thought about at this time. And I realized as well, from just going out and doing those little walks along the canal, down the road, and keeping your mind together, you notice a lot of things. And one thing that came up, I remember this early in the first lockdown, it came up about it as well. And it was about the whole thing of nature, the whole aspect of nature itself. But let's look at this. Do you realize this, an actual fact, that the pollution level has actually dropped? The pollution level has dropped. We're not actually driving everywhere all the time. You know, the buses, the trains, everything had slowed down. People aren't going as much, not as many on the road. Well, that was first time. I mean, to be honest, I took a trip down the road and I got stuck in a traffic jam. So I don't know what's going on here. But there is a fact worldwide that there's been a drop in the pollution level. Now, that is something we could sing about and look at in the positive and think about this. When we come out of this, how can that be stemmed still, that we don't have that pollution level rise? You've got to think about individuals, children growing up with that pollution, breathing in, asthmatic individuals as well. This has triggered a lot of things. And now seen in this period that the pollution level has dropped, we're talking about a healthier nation of people in one sense or another. And that's why you're seeing even the animals, you come in like foxes coming out in the middle of the road. I saw a swan going down the road the other day, which was trapped and police had to move from somewhere. Why did it wander out all the way out there instead? You know, things are kind of changed in a way. And these are hidden positives. That's just one of them. Now, let me just touch on a few while I'm talking about this before we break down that one. Here's one I really want to go into as well. In this time of lockdown, right, we've been forced to relearn. So here's another hidden gem as well. Talking about technology as well, the internet. We have had more access and pushed ourselves to access to individuals that you wouldn't normally have access to. So there's a real positive in that. And I mean, yourself, Sylbourne, and myself, we was talking about social media the other day and saying about access to individuals that you wouldn't normally in that sense, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and interesting you mentioned that. So keep talking. Sorry, Coach.
Go ahead. That's all right. Sorry, lost you on the mic. Can't hear you. Yeah, that's it. You're back. Yeah, back in now. Yeah,
it's interesting what you said about access, because with the advent of the social media, you find that you reach different areas. I mean, you and I have just recently been on Clubhouse. We're not giving it a plug, but we've been on Clubhouse Friday night, where we're going to go back again on Clubhouse. and what we've realized is that on these platforms, you have access to so many people that normally you would not have access to. And it is so powerful. And that is just one there, Coach. You know, so carry on. Yes, that's a good point that you have up there.
And in saying that as well, we always got to remember with social media, is it a tool or is it a toy? You know, you got to remember that and keep that perspective there in your head and don't get lost down the channel of a negative side of it, but keep to the positive. Plus, you can interact with your family abroad and all that. And you got to think, not everybody was internet savvy, but in that period, here's another hidden gem. A lot of people forced themselves to learn and got connected and thought, oh, I never knew I could do this. Oh, I never do that. They're a lot happier. So there's one already. Let's look at another one. On a similar level, we have in this period more time. It's the most important part in your life to actually have time. We have been on that treadmill, you know, just running around, not having time to do this, not having time to do that. Let's talk to somebody. I can't talk to you now. I've just got to finish off. No, we actually have time. You have time with your family. You have time with friends online. You know, you have more time to do things which you wouldn't normally do or get the time to do. So there is another hidden gem that's come out of it, a hidden positive out of it, being able to have that more time and manage yourself better. You see, now for some, getting that more time may feel like, what do I do with myself? What am I doing now? I'm getting bored. I'm this, that, and the other. This is where we have to rewire the mind and realize, look, what you were doing before doesn't mean that was natural. It was a habit, and it's something that you got into, and you've been operating that way without having time to stop and realize those around you as well, to stop and do the things that you want to do, and to be more creative in that sense as well. So there's another gem that we got here. You have got more time. And I know somebody's screaming out saying, you don't know my life. You don't know how much time I've got. I'm still trying more things to do, which is kind of true in a way. Depends, let's say for those who's working. Sometimes it's a case of that they see a calendar and they think, well, you got more time. You can do this meeting, you can do that meeting, and you've got to take control over that. Otherwise, you'll be in every Zoom meeting after every Zoom meeting. And this is where you got to pull things in line, realize I've got to time manage myself with this time I've got and not spend it all out to everybody and still have no time while everybody's having time.
So stop for a second then. You mine and you find these diamonds and you find these gold and you think that you've got it now. Everything is in order, but you still have got to treat it carefully, isn't it? You've got to make sure that you price it properly. You got to make sure that you protect your stream or your lineage or whatever like that, isn't it? So now that we've got time, which is that gem, which is that, wow, it can be a danger, isn't it? if it's not handled properly, Coach.
It can be a danger, yes, if you're not handling that time properly, because you could waste a lot of time. And at the end of it, you think, what did I do with it? When things start moving, what did I do with it? What did I create? What did I learn? And that's another gem that I'm going to go to as well. You have more time to learn things. You have more time to pick up a book and read it. Something you didn't know, a skill. You have more time to develop yourself as a person without somebody else on your case. And that doesn't mean, when I say that then again, back to what you said, Sylbourne, is using all that time just for that. No, it's managing it, time management. So let's say half an hour social in the morning, another half hour reading or hour reading, then this, then training, and all these sort of things that you've got to keep in line and manage them. You know, this is the greatest thing. Time is the greatest thing. You know,
time.
So
I want to throw this out too. And thanks for those. Jenny said, Brandon and those guys coming on Instagram. Of course, if you want to see the show live, you can go onto YouTube, Sylbourne TV, or go onto Facebook, Sylbourne TV as well. But you can hang around there as well, and you can listen to everything. And just picture Coach Chris Browne, lovely face. You don't have to worry about mine. Just picture Coach Chris Browne. And also on YouTube as well. Thank you for those joining. Michelle, Averica, and David, and those. I love to hear from you guys. Let's make this interactive as well. What do you see? What do you see, guys, or saw or found in this time during lockdown? Some hidden positive, some hidden streams of talent, something hidden that you found out during the course of lockdown that you say, wow, I'd love to hear that. And Coach would love to hear that, so we can dissect into that. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to see that as well. What are we getting on there?
Yes. And Michelle's a Coach Chris and all on the live. That's Michelle from
the States. Hi there, Michelle.
And Haverica, she's all the way from Jamaica. And David Chen is all the way from Jamaica. Paradise Gold.
Hi there, David. Be good to hear from you guys as well. What your questions are on that, or what gems you found as well.
Yeah. And somebody just messaged me on messaged me on Instagram saying, "What a man voice, nice." It must be yours because I didn't put up your voice, and you know.
We'll tell her thank you very much.
Carry on, Coach. Yes,
these are the blessings. All right, so here we go. Now, talking about it as well, let's talk about something else that we get on there that is a real gem. And you know what? Something that we noticed, and some people might say no because they've gone through some hard ones, but compassion. People are actually having compassion for others at this time, you know, because they're reaching out to each other. And sadly, no matter who it is, if you know someone in your area, in your vicinity where you are, you know, someone losing someone in this time is a pretty hard one, but you see people come together and supporting each other. You see people who can't leave their house and others knocking their door and saying, do you want anything at the shop? All these sort of things wasn't happening before, you know, people kind of getting together about their kids and things like this and learning. It's great. It's brilliant, you know, because people realize we are human beings. We need each other. That is a fact. You're not one person on an island where you can just operate. You may be able to do that for a while, but sooner or later, you're going to need to interact. And that's a really good thing. That is realized. And another thing what I realized, well, people are looking from reading an article as well, people are looking deeper into themselves as what is the real meaning of life, or what is their purpose? What are they doing? Because now that everything's stopped, as I explained it the other day, the world was spinning, and all of a sudden, bam, it stopped. And everybody thought, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And they start thinking about their purpose, their deeper spiritual content, their relationship with God, if you believe, as I do, and I'm sure as you do, Cecile. But, you know, people are looking deeper into themselves in the purpose and the truth of who they are, how significant they are in the world, and what's important. Now, when I talk about what's important, I'm going to just cut it right there and say this. Look, another hidden positive which came out of this, and I'm going to keep spooning them out, is this: value. what's important to you. And not only what's important, it's who's important to you as well. You know, because we got to look at this time, right? You're going to start shelving what's good and what's not good. And when I say that, I'm talking about people. You know, there's some people who add value to their life, and there's some people who, you know, do not add that much value and are not positive in the things that you want to do. And you've had time to think about it and reevaluate in, am I going in the right direction? Is that somebody who actually cares about my well-being as much as I care about theirs? You know, there's a lot of things happening. This is all about realization. That is not a bad one. It is actually a hidden positive. You're going to say.
I want to, Coach, I want to just bring in, because we asked people to comment, and Brandon in the States said, I would say that tapping into creative juices, in particular poetry and writing, is what he has tapped into.
Brilliant.
And I know I've met Brandon, and I tell you this, the beautiful thing, we mentioned about Clubhouse. I met Brandon, this lovely guy, comedian, on Clubhouse, and we have become good friends. And the beauty about that, about tapping into these things. Haverika said, I didn't find a talent during this season. However, it forced me to slow down. There's a comment. Slow down, redirect, and refocus. Tap into that one.
Wow.
Tap into what Haverika said right there.
I'll go right there with that one. Now, let me just say, just leave it up there. Let's say again, it forced me to slow down, look, redirect, and focus. Now, I'm going to break that down. It's there. Right. The world was spinning very fast. You were busy before this, Havika, right? And now you had to slow down, right? You slow down. And the whole idea is you need to slow down to do exactly what you said, to look and redirect and refocus on where you are going in what you're doing. And in doing that, what I'll add to that is find out your personal strengths, your talents, your purpose, your reason. Your big thing, which you always talk about now in coaching particularly, is your why. Why? You know, why are you doing certain things? Why are you doing that? You know, I had somebody who produced a product the other day who I was speaking to, and they were talking about they got it out there and that's that. But there was no other purpose behind it. And when I asked them why this and why that, which was good because they wrote them down and went away and looked at the whys behind it, which will give them more strength to carry on with that refocus in the direction they're going in a very powerful way. So what I say today is well done. Keep up with that, you know?
And Chris, isn't it the bit where I always speak about stopping, refocus, because we're going through this rush. We're always rushing.
Yeah.
And then we have no choice. We have no choice but to stop.
Yeah.
We have no choice but to look around and say, hey, what's going on? We have no choice but to look in that mirror and to say, who am I actually? What am I doing? A time to refocus, because we have always been saying, I need time, and I need time. Coach.
You know what? I need time. Guess what? Here, you got time. What are you going to do with it? You know, what are you going to do? You got this thing in your hands now. You've been crying out for. Here it is. Time. You've got time. Yeah. So what you do with the time, what I'm suggesting, not saying you do this, but back to the same thing, time management. You could be so productive. You know, some people, let's say we're meant to have sleep, the 7 or 8 hours is what you're meant to have. You know, funny enough, I only do about 5 or so anyway. But you're supposed to have about 7 or 8 hours sleep. And then the rest of the day, you've got that time. If you could actually time block it and realize the things that are important that you need to do first, which are urgent, right? This is a Stephen Covey theory, right? The urgent and then the not so urgent. And then doing the important and the not so important. And you block them throughout the day in that order. I'll say it again, just in case somebody's thinking, what did he say there, right? Urgent, not so urgent.
Yes.
Important, not so important, right? And you could block them out and put them in those blocks. You could have a very fulfilled day and wrap up most of your day at least by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock already, once you spread out throughout the week. So time manage your time in this time. It's a great time to practice that, actually. And let me just say one thing as well. You know what's a great time to practice that is if you mess up on it, it's okay, because you got time and you could correct it the next day. Sorry, go ahead, Sylbourne.
Wow. No. I'm just wanting to make sure that the comments are highlighted because Haverika just mentioned definitely that is why it's important, and sometimes it gets lost in the business. That's why it's important. Get lost in the business. Uh, Genesis
Yes.
UK said, agree completely, coach. And let me just bring in Michelle Stevenson, who said, I've been busy at work nonstop since this pandemic. However, I've had time to reflect, focus, and I'm doing something I've been thinking about for years. And I
Wow.
know Michelle Stevenson. She's always doing some nice motivational messages in the morning and putting a little
Right.
singing tone to it.
Okay. Well done, Michelle. Well done. Well done. Because it's the same thing like stop, refocus, and start moving. So you found something in yourself which you need to do for, guess what? You. Right. And when I say you, I don't mean a sales rep. I mean you got to look after you. You got to have something inside of you before you can actually give to somebody else. And that's a fact at the end of the day. So that looking after you, realizing, refocus, good stuff. Good stuff, at the end of the day.
That's powerful what you said right there. Just homing on to it for a second.
Yeah, sure.
What you have in you is what you can give to others. Nurturing what you have in you in order to give. God, that's what you have to get to give. And that's why I always say that the blessings that you have is for someone else. And I always say, are you blocking someone's blessing today? Because the blessing that you receive is not just for you, it's for others. Carry on, coach.
Right. Okay, let's look at another area as well. While I get some more of those answers on there, it'll be interesting. But there's something else that happened, which is a hidden positive. Right now, it might seem negative when I say some, depends which side of the fence you're actually sitting on when it comes to business and companies and large, massive businesses and small starting off businesses as well. Guess what? You're all on the same playing field, right? Especially when it comes to marketing and all that and learning how to actually get more clients or whatnot, all on the same playing field. So it doesn't matter how big the business is. It doesn't matter how small the business is. We're all using social media in one way or another because we can't actually go out there to the people or as you would before, operating a system you would before. So things have to change. So for those who are basically into marketing, they're reaping at this present moment. If you train in marketing and social media marketing, all that sort, they're reaping at this moment because people have to get clients, people have to get customers and users. And at this time, everybody's playing it on the same field, same playing field, as not different so much how much you could put in as before, or the small person just coming up now. So there's a level ground. So out at the end of this, you should have learned something. And your company, your business, whatever you're doing will grow, grow. And even if it doesn't, guess what? You would have learned another way to market your business in some way or another. And I could say that for myself as well, from experience and realizing, and Sylbourne myself is always talking about there's different ways to get out there and hit more things and more markets and all that, and sharing information. I mean, this is great. This is great. It's a learning time.
I mean, Chris, it's good sometimes we speak it from a theoretical perspective, but it's also good when you can share it from a practical perspective, because as you rightly said a while ago, like what I'm doing, I've started to do the walk and talk. Then I started to video the walk and talk. Then I started to have guests on the walk and talk. Then I got to have contents on the walk and talk. Then I start to do little 1-minute videos for the walk and talk. Then you and I, Chris, I start to follow back at you, as I say in Jamaica, follow back at you, and start doing my podcast, which is the audio version, which is a reflection of my walk in the day. And it is powerful. It shows you how you can utilize the 1 hour and capture so many things in it and create massive contents, Chris. It's powerful.
That is it. We just don't realize how much you got in our hand, because even that walk and talk, it was just out of conversation, right? It started a conversation, right? When we had with David on there, self and yourself, and start from there. Now look what has happened. Look at a spin-off of that. You see, this is why it's good to communicate and share. That's another thing I'll say about this time for a hidden positive, is sharing information as well, swapping information, both growing in that sort of way. It's a very good positive. Sometimes people want to hold this there and hold that there, and I want to get it. It's not about that. You know, it's about community. It's about growing together. It's about learning together. You know, it's about messing up together and laughing about it, you know, and get things moving on. Create a team around you. Create a team that you can actually share around you. It is positive, right? Would you say you got a team around you, Sylbourne?
Definitely, you know that, because when we're trying to get the flyers done, it wasn't just me. I had to go to other persons, man, and I just said, "Chris, that work, man." And the person said, tell Chris to go and fly a kite. I can't do it now." So it wasn't just me.
You know what? I read through that text and I said, "Don't worry, don't stress about it. Let's just get on with it and get the content out." Ping, 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 ping away.
My team is also my 8-year-old daughter who came in, and I said, "Check the lights." She said, "Daddy, that's not good." She get me my braces, and she decide which braces I wear. My son, he gets my phone or whatever like that. So I got my little home team as well. You know what I'm saying?
That's great. That's great. That's brilliant. You know, so it's really good to have that team around you as well. You know, people can actually bounce things off. So that's a hidden gem, which is really good about the whole thing of communication. Let me tell you about another one as well that's come up, is knowing your own true value as well. Knowing your whole own worth as well. That is important. That is important. You know, once you realize your worth as well, you realize who and who's around you and what you're doing and how much you're adding value to others at the same time. It's very, very important. Very important. Yep.
That's very good. And I just ask persons as well, you know, when Coach a while ago said knowing your value, realizing your value, do you know your value? Instagram, do you know your value? YouTube, do you know your value? Facebook, or is it waiting for others to value you? Because most times we allow persons to name us, we allow persons to brand us, but do you actually take that time and know exactly what your value is? So when somebody say this and that, they say, "Whatever, mate, I know I am." Yeah, is that a fair question, Coach, to ask persons as well? Yes.
You know, it's a funny thing, because you said about the whole thing of waiting for somebody else to validate you, to say, "Hey, you're okay, you can do this," when inside you know it already who you are, but you're looking for that confirmation on it. So this is the time to search and look inside, you know, in who you are. And it goes back to your beliefs and who you are as well, you know, because it's not till you know and you believe and you know who you are and where you come from, do you actually get to move forward. You know, so it's the time to work that situation out. What am I good at? What is my skills? What am I naturally good at? What do I, you know, not the area I said that you got your strengths and people automatically think when the next button say is your weak. No, I'm not going to say weaknesses. Your areas that you need to develop. You know, you need to look at that as well.
That's my
and be honest with yourself. You know,
I'm just giving you my strength. I'm just giving you my strength. My breakdown strength.
Well, yeah. So you got to know what your strengths are and know, you know, and value who you are as well. For you to value who you are, guess what? Others value you too. If you don't value you, nobody's going to really value you as well and treat you for what you're supposed to be at the end of the day, you know? So
in order for us to move on from that point, see the question that Keisha asked: how do you know your value?
Good question. Good question. Much to what I just said is knowing your self-worth. Sometimes we don't think we deserve certain things. You know, oh, that's good for that person. Oh, that's great. Good for them. Oh, that's great. Knowing that you can do that, knowing that you have the ability inside of you, your value instead of what you're actually worth. And then when I talk about worth, I'm not talking about tangibility in that sense of like, let's say financially or anything like that. I'm talking about your inner person, who you are. You know, me, let's say I usually work with the whole idea of building up confidence and self-esteem with individuals in the work I do as a coach as well. But at the end of the day, I didn't put that in them. All I did was ask the right questions and they found out who they are and what they're good at and the value of what they're good at. Now, I could take that two ways. I could be talking about value in the job market. Sometimes people realize their true skills, or they hone in this period and start working on certain areas, and then go back in the job market and realize, hey, I'm actually worth more than I was paid before now than then. And I've seen that happen many times. Now let's talk about the other sort of value, the value as you as a person. You know, what are your beliefs? You know, because sometimes it's our beliefs that propel us forward in going in the direction that we need to go. What do we truly believe in? You know, and in saying that, you got to realize, look, if this is what you stand for, then you got to stand for it. You know, me, myself, my belief is in God, right? So that's what I stand for at the end of the day. But that doesn't say that everybody else has to, but I'm saying me and myself. So I'll take that on there. That's a different sort of value. Now there's a value in your work. You know, as I said, what skills have you got? What can you do to develop and build on that? That's another sort of value. So I hope that helped, Keisha, on that level when we're talking about there. Give me a shout out as well.
That's powerful. Yeah, that is powerful. And someone said on Instagram, reassurance is good as it keeps you encouraged. But yes, you have to know what your strengths are. Reassurance is good, but you have to know what your strengths are. So that goes back to the whole understanding, Chris, then, is, do you know who you are? Who am I? You know, as a gentleman said to me once, I always use this analogy at all times with Charles Kieran, when he said, Sylbourne, oh Sylbourne, if only Sylbourne know who Sylbourne is. And that was very powerful at the right moment. And I always say, when I speak to young people and I go into school, I always use an example. I say a child is, one of the students is named James. I said, James, oh James, do James know who James really is? Michelle, oh Michelle, do you know who you really is? And that's a searching moment. That's a searching moment, ladies and gentlemen. That's a searching moment when you have to go on the inside of you and say, who am I? Damn, who am I really? And then that is the beginning where you become unstoppable. I always say, once you know who you are, you become unstoppable. Bang.
You know, that's so powerful, because that kind of reminds me of like the starting of one of those films like Fantastic Four, those superheroes. Do you really know who you are? And like you said, you become powerful once you do know, and obviously used in the right way as well. Once you do know, to empower others, you know, and help others who actually are in a position that they don't know, you know, in that sense. So that's a good one. Let me just hit on one other aspect as well. And this is another hidden gem, another hidden positive in this time. Let's just look at this situation here. In fact, let's look at a little scenario between us, Sylbourne. All right, so you go to work each day, and you might want a coffee or something. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do when you want a coffee?
Well, let's do my normal route. If it was going to court in the morning, I'll stop at the petrol station, then I'll get a Costa, but road, and then a Costa, get a coffee, then go to court, get another coffee with the lawyers. Then when we have our pre-meeting,
can I just freeze it? Can I just freeze it? How much was that coffee? How much that coffee? $5?
The minimum. About about three. No, I'm not. I don't go to the Dorchester like you, Chris. I'm £3, £2, £3. You go in the cafe, you know, that's for like a latte or so, Costa.
All right,
that is one way.
Okay, carry on with the journey, because you bought 2 coffees already. Go on.
I bought 2 coffees already, and then on your way back, then you stop maybe somewhere and have a quick meal or so, lunch. And sometimes I like to stop at this takeaway Chinese place, you know. Or if you're really desperately hungry, you just need to find a McDonald's. You just need something to get in your stomach, and then you make your way home. Then you stop on the motorway, and maybe at one of the service center where the coffees are more expensive.
right, yes, not the Dorchester, not
the Dorchester. That's on the motorway, and there, boom, there you are again, having another coffee or maybe a quick snack. And that can run into at least 20 pounds in a day.
Thank you very much. That's exactly where I'm going. Now, this is the hidden gem, right? Already. Now, you said 20. I calculated more than that when you said you stopped at the Chinese already, because the first two coffees, you said about £3. That was £6. Two of them already. You said another coffee on top of that, right? Then you said about the lunch, and then you said about the Chinese, and then you said about the other coffee on the way back. Plus, you bought petrol as well. Now, we're talking, that's just in one day, right? Now, here's the other hidden gem. In this lockdown time, you can really learn how to save and find out where is your finance going? Where is it hemorrhaging? What is happening? What do I do every day that I don't need to do all the time? I mean, you could have carried your own coffee. No, people don't like to because it's a thing, buying a coffee or whatever. But let's just say this. Where is it all going? This is a time you can learn to save and reevaluate and look at your finances and think, what can I do different when I get back out there? Or what am I doing now? Because now's the time saving. All right, so you might be going online and shopping as well at the same time. You know, even that, you've got to realize, well, you know, how much of it I'm doing and what's essential and what is not essential. You know, is a coffee essential every time we go out? You think about it, really. You know, is it an essential? And how much of it do you spend? Now, I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. Of course, enjoy yourself. You know, you reward yourself. You're worth it at the end of the day. But you got to look at it as well. In this time, in this period, you're going to learn how to save. You're going to learn how to recoup on that and reevaluate, where is it all going? What can I do better with it? What can I invest it in instead? Yeah. So let's just say, all right, so gyms aren't open now. But if it was so, you could have turned that same £6 into something that you invested in a gym or whatever, but not the gym now. But, you know, there are other areas that you can develop in learning at the same time as well. So, you know, that's a hidden gem, looking at finance at this time.
And also, you're not doing any, what should I say? Dry cleaning.
Dry, yeah, and I looked at that way as well. There you go. There you go. You're not doing as much dry cleaning as you would all the time. And that costs, you know, I know some places where it's just that, but some places where it's that, you know. So, you know, that's a hidden positive, you know, when you look at it. So I know I'm doing about 6 or 7. Go ahead.
And Chris, the joke about it is that if you're doing dry cleaning, just maybe your jacket, because most people go into online Zooms, is only the top, isn't it?
You know, we become like those newsreaders where they're sitting there with a shirt and everything, but you know what's below. Yeah, how many jackets they're going in there into dry cleaning? Say they go, do you want the whole suit? Oh no, just the jacket, just the jacket.
Just
you know,
jacket.
You know how many jackets are going out there. And the thing about it, we're laughing about it, but these were actually positives. You know, that's not going to cost as much as the whole suit anyway. So there we go. We're looking at other areas. So think about this already. I mentioned about the technology, having access to other people, having more time to learn. Compassion as well. Compassion for others is something that's rising in the world. Pollution level has dropped. That is so positive, especially if you're a person who suffers with asthma or some other area where it's dependable on your lungs and your breathing. Okay, so we're talking about businesses. Stop comparing your small business to a big business. We're all on the same playing field when it comes to marketing and getting clients and customers and users at this time. All right, so here we go. Realization of values as well. Your valuing yourself, your worth, your self-worth, and also what's important to you in this time. And then where I went at the end is saving money. Saving money, looking at your finances this time. So these are hidden gems.
Coach?
Sure.
Yes. No, those are very powerful, and someone said I miss grabbing a Starbucks on the way to the office.
Yeah.
But I would say that Starbucks has been translated into money into your pocket, isn't it, Chris?
Good. Well done. Well done. But you know, I understand we miss Starbucks going there because it's about a social contact as well. When you have a coffee with someone, it's a social contact.
That's true.
But being part of that, it is, like you said, putting money back into your pocket, saving.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Coach, any last one before we wrap up? We got a good show there, which went on. Anybody have any last comment to make? Any last word there, Coach?
Okay. Well, last word I'll say is look, take this away with you. Don't take it as a theory and just a good show. Get a piece of paper, get a pad or something, write some things down, reevaluate now, and put some action. You know, intentions are good, but they're very good. But action
Yes.
behind it makes it all real, makes it happen. You know, so have a look at that and, you know, drop us a line as well and, you know, tell us exactly what you got out of that and how it benefited you. You know, that's what I'll
Well,
say.
see that comment there. Look at
Which
that
one?
comment. Makes you laugh.
No, that's not. That's money has gone to Amazon. Let me say this. Let me say this, right? I did say to reevaluate. Okay, so it's a case of like, it's either you just got this thing, I've got to spend it somewhere, I've got it here, I've got to spend it, or you got to cut it in half and realize I can only spend that amount on Amazon. I know what you're talking about, though. Trust me, that's a good one. You know?
That's true, because one is tempted because of the ease. I mean, these big Amazon, the guy that owns Amazon, he made so much money during the lockdown that
Wow.
he doesn't know what to do. He resigned.
I know, it's amazing, amazing. You know, think of one idea and look what could happen. You know, that could be any one of us here. You think of a great idea in this period, in this time, get creative. You know, there is no price on creativity. There is no price. There's no ceiling on it at all. So if you can create, there you go. Jeff Bezos, he did it, you know, at the end of the day. So that could be anyone listening here right now. Create.
And the ball is in our court to be creative as well. You know, the sky is not the limit. I say the sky is the start, as much as I like to change up my various quotes. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining, those on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And make sure you also tune in to Coach Chris Browne, the podcast, which is Thought for the Day on Spotify, Inspiring Personal Development Podcast by Coach Chris Browne. And also follow him on Instagram. You can see the details which are passing there. Coach, you want to say anything about your podcast? Because I believe it's very powerful.
Yes, this podcast particularly, which I brought out, is the accumulation of a lot of what I do is coach people on confidence and performance. And in this podcast particularly, it's a real learning one about yourself, the confidence in you. So it will help you to move forward in finding the areas like a while ago, I think as Keisha said, were your values. Find out what confidence really is, what your self-esteem is. It's a series and we're on part 2 right now, episode 2. So please tune into it, leave your comments on there. It really helps. It's a new project we're doing. And I believe it will make a difference to you. So it's confidence in you, thought for the day. The podcast, the link is at the bottom there as well. And, you know, let's connect. You know, website, Coach Chris Browne.
And while Coach Chris Browne is plugging Coach Chris Browne, I plug my podcast as well, since I follow Baka Chris, which is Walk and Talk Motivational Moments, whereby I do a reflection of the day. And I've had some really some powerful topics, and you can go and check it out. And if I'm to look at it here, one of them is where is it, Chris? You need to teach me how to do this thing. How do I do it again, Chris? One is life. Yeah, life is for you to master. Valuing your storms and your trials. Are you ready to make time? Are you living or surviving? And today, the one which is going to go out is going to be, don't claim your obstacles.
Interesting.
Don't claim your obstacles. And Chris, where that one came from was when I was battling through the snow during the time I was doing the lockdown. And while I was doing the lockdown, I had to navigate the pathway. I decided not to go certain ways at certain points. I dreamt one night I was going to fall. So I decided not to go that day, literally. And then it hit me today when I went outside and there was no snow. And it was beautiful like the day it was before. And I said to myself, wow, sometimes obstacles are there to build us, to strengthen us, make us sharp, make us savvy, and make us being very perceptive. But once that obstacle is gone, don't claim it. Don't try to hold on back to it or so, but move on and actually learn from that period. So yeah, that was my bit. So that's gonna come out later.
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree. And that's why I always say this thing, your eyes were situated in the front of your head, not in the back of your head. So you can look forward. And I go with you on that. Great one.
Yes. And coach, I don't know if it's up to you. It's up to you still if you want to do a 5-10 minutes over on Instagram. It's up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah, we can do that. If everybody come over there and join us, we'll do a 5-10 minutes one on there, and we'll just everything up.
Yeah. So for those on Instagram, Tamaican guys, coach is gonna come over. Stacy's over there as well. We're gonna come over on Instagram for a few minutes. So coach, listen, I want to thank you so much as I wrap up and as you get ready, put on your face again and put on your hair. And we what we do, we just wipe your hair, get it going.
Here we go. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta get ready
that's how we do our makeup.
That's how we do it. So, I want to say thank you for having me on, and thank you for everybody else who joined in and the contribution. That's great. Let's keep this going. Next week we got something really special for next week, next Tuesday as well. So great stuff.
That's going to be lockdown number 7.
7,
ladies and gentlemen.
The one.
Awesome.
I think that's finale, isn't it?
Awesome, coach.
Okay.
Listen, take care of yourself.
See you in a while.
I'll see you around.
See you.
All the best.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. See you on Instagram. Yep.
See you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So that was Coach Chris Browne, and he's going to be coming over onto Instagram where we're going to do a little bit. But let me just tell you what's happening for the rest of the week. For the rest of the week, on Thursday, I'm going to have the team with the In Review, where we look back, and with Dr. David Burton, where we review the news. But we tend to be a lot focused on the COVID, where we are with COVID, and we're going to be focusing on some of the developments, especially with the vaccine. And we believe the Prime Minister might be talking about relaxing the lockdown or going to phases. Nicola Sturgeon today has actually said that some schools are going to start going back. Hopefully, we believe that there's going to be some relaxing and some phasing in because the vaccine is going great accordingly. And of course, we're going to review again and talk about the vaccines and if people are taking it and question all the while why the Black community, as they keep saying, is not very perceptive to it. I believe that the Black community is actually being very perceptive to it. I believe that somehow they try to put that focus there as if without a sense. But I believe that people are taking it as they want to. And if those don't want to take it, don't want to take it. But also on Sunday night, I'm going to have a show. And this is going to be with Richard Shams Brown and Lester Gaza Gale at 9 p.m. UK time and 4 p.m. Jamaica time this Sunday, 21st of February. As you know, it is Reggae Month in Jamaica. So I want to sort of touch on something, looking at the positives of dancehall music. Sorry, the positives and negatives of dancehall music. Okay, so we're going to tune in on that. So looking forward to you. So I want to thank you so much for joining, and thank you for the show, and thank you for those on Instagram, those on Facebook, and those on YouTube. And have a good night. And from me to you, from my house to your house, from my street to your street, from my city to your city, and from my state to your state. And I can see Coach Chris Browne is over there on Instagram. All the best and good night. Thank you. Oh, remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the YouTube channel as well. YouTube, and Facebook as well.